Okay, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Okay, just want to make sure I have persons there. Let me share my screen. Uh, Okay, I think we can begin now. I think I see most of you present. I see a new person, Miss Sandy Marshall.
Morning.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Sandy Marshall.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Okay. Did you get the previous PowerPoint slides homework, Mr. Marshall?
No, I didn't.
Oh, because I sent it to Miss Dean. I thought she would have forwarded it to you. I guess after the class, I could get that to you. Mr. Marshall, I don't see an email address for you. Do you mind sharing your email address, Mr. Okay, you give it to me, please.
It's Sandy, S-A-N-D-Y,
Mm-hmm.
D as in dog,
Mm-hmm.
Marshall
Mm-hmm.
at gmail.com.
Okay. Sandy D. Marshall at Gmail. All right, thank you.
No problem.
Okay. Ms. Branique Bain, are you there?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. I noticed you
I am.
were in and out of class for the last two classes. You're going to be with us for the entire class today?
Yes, I will. I just had a mix up with my other class that was scheduled for that.
Okay. All right. Okay then. Okay. All right. So today we're going to be moving on to another.
Morning.
Good morning. Let me see. Okay. Yes, we're going to be moving on to another chapter in your book. But before we get started with that, I want to just find out from you if you had any issues with the homework. The PowerPoint presentation that I sent to you, the answers are there. So for chapter 2, those are the answers for the homework. And then for chapter 3, those are the answers. And I just need for those persons who were present Wednesday, Thursday, to find out whether or not you had any of the questions that was a challenge that you would like for us to look at. If you did the homework and you take a photograph of it and email it to me. So far, I got work from Mr. Butler for lesson 1. And I see some work from Ms. Fanique for lesson 1. And I don't see anything else from anybody else as far as lesson 1 homework.
Excuse me, Mr. Allen. I
ma'am.
sent you my lesson 1 homework via WhatsApp.
Oh, okay.
And I still don't have a book, so I wasn't able to do this homework.
Mr. Allen, lesson 1 was sent via email as well.
What's your name? This is, who is?
This is Bernie.
Yeah, I have yours. I have Vanique and I have Yuri. That's it.
No, not Vernique, because I didn't send anything.
Hold on now.
And a Tia was sent via WhatsApp.
Okay, now somebody just said Vernique and not Benique.
Okay, Bernique is speaking. I'm saying that I didn't send anything for lesson 1. I'm asking where was it sent?
Oh, okay. Sorry. The Vernique and Branique sound so close. Yeah, I got something from Benique, but Branique. Okay, so now it is the PowerPoint presentation for lesson 1. The homework is towards the end of it. And likewise for lesson 2, there were 2 sets of homework, one for chapter 2 and one for chapter 3. So if you scroll through, you will see the slide that says chapter 2 homework and another one that says chapter 3 homework. Okay, so, okay, let me double check here. So who is the person who said they sent it by WhatsApp?
A Tia.
Yeah, okay. Okay, let me see. Atia. Okay, Atia. Oh, chapter 10. I see Yuri. Okay. All right, I'll have to check a little later because I'm not seeing it on this. The number is 803-9975.
Yes, and my number is 445-6062.
Oh, okay. Now I see it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. So that, yeah. Okay.
Lesson 2, you didn't send the questions, right? I just
And
saw. I said lesson 2, you didn't send the questions, right?
well, the persons who are present, I sent it to, but
I mean,
if
I
you-
didn't see the questions. I just saw the answers because I was
this
looking for it as I don't have a book yet.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, you mean the actual
Right.
question? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all you could, if you just needed to send me an email and I would
Oh,
have sent it to you because I wasn't sure who had the book on. I only heard from Yuri that he didn't have the book, but I didn't know you didn't have the book. All right, so who is this again?
Atia Notes.
Yeah, no book. Okay.
Okay, you can look for an email from Bronique as well because I don't have the book as yet either. So I'll need the questions, please.
Okay. Okay, Branique. All right. So I have 3 persons so far without the book, Yuri, Branique, and Atia. Okay then. All right. All right, so those of you who did the homework, you could please forward it to me. Any questions with the homework? I didn't see anybody, I didn't hear anybody ask anything, so I take it we could move on. You didn't have any difficulties. Now, like I said, the homework is helpful for practice. So the more of it you do, the better you will do in the course. Okay. Now, if it's basic knowledge and you feel like you know it, then you don't have to do it. All right. So today we are moving on to chapter 6 of your text. And chapter 6 deals with percents and their application. All right. And I think all of you should be able to tell me something about percents. What is a percent? Or what are percents? What purpose do they serve? What does it mean? How is it written? All of you should be able to answer that. I could call some names. Ms. Knowles, you want to start off? When you hear the word percent, what comes to mind? Atia Knowles? Hello? Ms. Knowles, are you there?
sorry, this thing was acting up. Sorry.
Hmm.
Repeat yourself, please. Sorry.
Yeah, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the question I asked. What comes
Oh,
to mind?
sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And a specific amount, I guess, for every 100.
Okay, so you're saying out of 100. Okay. That's okay. So that's one of the meanings. Yes. Anybody else? Mr. Marshall? Can you add anything to that? When you hear the word percents, what comes to mind?
I think out of 100 as well.
Okay, out of 100. All right. Anybody have anything else to add in terms of when you hear the word percent, what comes to mind? Ms. Heald?
Hi.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I was asking you when you see the word percent, what comes to mind? Anything other than out of 100?
I think it would be similar to what we did as far as the decimals. It would be a portion of something, portion of a total
Okay.
number.
All right. So it's another representation of a portion. Thank you. Okay. So we looked at fractions, we looked at decimals, and now we're looking at percent. So percent is another way we can represent a portion of a whole. And when we deal with percents as a portion, we are basically looking at a portion of 100, okay? A fraction out of 100. Or 100 would be our denominator, and the numerator would be whatever portion we are representing or looking at. Okay, so in previous chapter, I think it was when we were looking at decimals, we showed that there's a connection between fractions and decimals. So what we have done today, we have extended the table to look at fractions, decimals, and percents. So we can convert from fraction to decimal, we can convert from fraction to percent, we could convert from decimal to percent, and so on, and we could go back and forth between the three forms of representing a portion. And so this is looking at the bag of M&Ms that we had looked at sometime in the last lesson, where we had 55 in the bag, and we had a representation of how many of each color. And so 18 over 55, we had worked out to be 0.33. But in percent form, we have 32.73 because we rounded it off to the nearest hundredth. Now, how do we get from the fraction to the percent? Anybody?
The fraction to the percent, you have to, in essence, you do something by 100. So I would multiply it by 100.
Okay. We want to make it out of 100, so we could do that. But look at the decimal form. How do we get from the fraction to the decimal?
You could divide the 18, for example, the first one, 18 divided by 55, and then
Okay.
times it by 100 to get the percent.
Okay, right, thank you. So we could change it to a decimal first, and then after we change it to a decimal, we multiply the decimal by 100, and that would give us the fraction, the percentage form of the fraction or the decimal. All right. So in your book, on page 144, 145, you will see them speak about converting decimals to percent. So to convert the decimal to percent, it says you have to move the decimal point 2 places to the right. And why are we moving the decimal places 2 places to the right? What is that a shortcut for? When we move 2 places, when we move 2 places to the right, that's a shortcut for doing what?
Rounding.
Could you repeat that?
Rounding.
No.
It's a shortcut for the multiplication,
It's a shortcut for
the multiplication,
multiplication by
100.
100. All right, so moving the decimal point 2 places to the right is actually a shortcut for multiplying by 100. So if you look at step 1, that's on the screen, it says you are multiplying by 100. So, okay, so if necessary, you can add zeros. And then after that, you add the percent symbol at the end of the number. So we have some examples here. So the first example is 0.49. 0.49 is a decimal, and we want to change that to a percent. Okay, so if you want to change 0.49 to a percent, you multiply it by 100, and the shortcut is to move the point 2 places to the right. So you see that they use the arrow to show you that they moved it 2 places to the right. And so the answer will be 49%. Okay. In the next case, this second example, we have 0.8 as a decimal to change to a percent. And because changing from decimal to percent, you have to multiply by 100, you can move the 2.2 places to the right. So if you move 1 place, you get 8. And if you move a second place, you're going to have a space. And so what you have to do is use a 0 to fill that space. So they ask you to add 1 0 to make 2 places. So that gives you 80%. In the case of the 8, you will see that 8, to change that to a percentage, you're going to have to multiply by 100. So you're moving the point 2 places to the right. And the 2 places that you have to move, there are no digits there. So you're going to have to add 2 zeros. And so that's how we get that 800%. Okay. So looking at the other examples, we have 0.425. Multiply by 100, you move in 2 places to the right. So that moves the point between the 2 and the 5. So we have 42.5%. The next one is 0.007. You move in the point 2 places to the right. So it goes just in front of the 7. So we end up with 0.7%. And then the last example here, you have 2.51 to change to a percent. You multiply by 100 again. You move the point 2 places. You end up with 251%. Okay, so changing decimal to percent can be shortened by moving the point 2 places to the right, which is the equivalent of multiplying by 100. All right, so, okay. Now, sometimes we have to round the percentage, like in the table that you were looking at a little earlier, we got 18/55. You had to divide 18 by 55. And when you divide 18 by 55, you got this long number here. We don't need all of that in our answer. So oftentimes you're asked to round. So in this case, we're going to round it to the nearest 100th. So if you multiply by 100, you're going to get 32 point, because you're going to move the point 2 places. So you got 32.72727%. But in rounding it to the nearest 100th, you're going to look for the 100th place, which is the 2. And since the number after the 2 is a 7, once it's 5 or more, you're going to round up. So you notice that the 2 became 3 because we're rounding up. Really, they shouldn't have this here. So it becomes 32.73% to the nearest 100th. Okay, it's rounded off to 2 places. Suppose we are asked to round that off to the nearest 10th. What would the answer be? Nearest 10th.
32.7%.
Okay, to the nearest 10th, it would be equal to 32.7%. Suppose you're asked to do it to the nearest whole number.
33%.
Okay, nearest whole number, it would be equal to 33%, because the number that comes after the 2 is a 7. They're going to round up the 2 to 3. Okay. All right. So give you a minute. Look at those 4. I'm going to call on persons to tell me what they got. Round those off. And in each case, they want you to round it to the nearest 10th. Change them to a percent and round to the nearest 10th. Okay, Branique. And what you did for the first one?
So I moved the decimal place. Yeah, I moved the decimal places, so I got 44.4%.
Okay, so number one, 44.4%. Okay. Mr. Jules, can you tell me what you got for number two, please?
78.2%.
Okay, 78.2%. All right. Oops, what I did there. Mr. Marshall, number three.
0.6.
Okay, 0.6%. And Ms. Thompson, number four.
793.3%.
793.3%. All right, now I hope all of you make sure to put your percent sign in your answer because we are converting from a decimal to a percent. So your answer should have the percent sign in it. All right, thank you much. So let us move on then. All right, so we just did the conversion to percents from decimals. So we're doing the reverse now. So what's the procedure in this case? We're doing the reverse. We're changing from percents to decimals.
Dividing by 100 now.
So we're dividing by 100. And the shortcut for dividing by 100 is to do what?
Move the point to the
Move the
left.
decimal places to the left, 2 places to the left.
Places to the left. All right. So in the first one, you have a 0.4%. So if you move that 2 places to the left, you're gonna have to put some numbers to hold those places. So we're gonna put zeros. So moving 2 places to the left gives us 0.004. Now you notice here that we don't have a percent sign because we are changing from percent to decimal. So you wouldn't have a percent sign here because this is now a decimal. It's not a percent anymore. Okay, 2%. Same thing here. We're moving 2 places to the left. So the point was right after the 2. So we're going to move 2 places to the left. So we end up with 0.02. 49%. 2 places to the left is 0.49. The next one is 54.5. 2 places to the left plus 0.545. And then this last one, 824.4%. We're moving 2 places to the left. So that's going to bring the point between the 8 and the 2. So that's 8.254. All right, so converting to decimals requires us to divide by 100. And so the shortcut would be to move 2 places to the left. So we did. So we're looking at some fractions now. A fractional percent. So the first one is 1/5. What did they do with that 1/5% before we could change it to a decimal? Miss,
Divide the numerator by the denominator.
okay, so 1 divided by 5 gives us 0.2. And that because all you're doing is changing from a fractional percent to a decimal percent, is going to be 0.2%. And then now you want to change it into a decimal. So now you're going to divide by 100. And so you're going to move the point 2 places to the left. That's how they got that 0.002. Now that 0.002, you didn't need this extra 0 at the end. So it could have just been equal to 0.002. You move the point 2 places to the left. The point was here, 1, 2, so 0.002. Okay, so that would be the answer for that one. Okay, now all of you know that a quarter is equal to 0.25. So it becomes 0.25%. And then we move 2 places to the left. And that's how we got the answer of 0.0025. Now look at the next one, 7 3/4. You already know that 7 3/4 is the same as, well, 3/4 is the same as 0.75. So 7 3/4 then would be 7.75%. And then to change that to the decimal form, you divide by 100, which means move the point 2 places to the left. And that's how we get the result that they have there, 0.0775. And the same principle would apply for 6.5. That's the same as 6.5. And then we move the point 2 places to the left to get the 0.65. And you notice in each case, there's no percent sign here because we are changing to a decimal. When you change from the fraction form to the decimal percentage form, you have the percent because it is just another form of that same number. But once you divide by 100, now you have just a straight decimal. Okay. All right, so I wanted to do those four questions from 5 to 8. Give you a minute, using the same principles we just looked at. We're going to convert them to decimals. Okay. Okay, Mr. Sorry, Ms. Denise Thompson, what you got for the first one? Ms. Thompson?
Sorry, I was trying to unmute my mic. 0.0020.
Okay, so the first step is to do what? 1/5
Sorry,
percent is equal to
0.20.
0.2%. Okay.
0.2%, yeah.
I mean, 0.20 is still correct, but 0.2, okay. And then you're going to divide by 100. So you're going to move the
100.
0.2 places. And so you got
0.0020.
0.002. Oh, 2 zeros. Okay. 0.002. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, Ms. Hope. Waltine Hope. Number 6.
7 4/5 percent is 7 and 7.8.
7.8%. Okay.
Mhm. And so 7.8 divided by 100, I'm moving the decimal points. They rounded it off, the calculator rounded it off to 0.08.
No, they didn't, did they say round off here? No, they didn't say round off. So let's just move
No,
it two
that's-
places.
It would be 0 point. It would be 0.0780.
Okay, that's it. All right, so you're moving two places, so you get 0.078. Thank you. All right, Miss Dania Roll, number 7.
Hey, sorry
Miss
about
Roll.
that. Hi.
Number 7, 92%.
So number 7 would be, I just moved the. Okay, so now it'll be 0.92%.
Okay. Not percent, but just 0.92.
0.92, yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, and then Miss Atia Knowles, what you got for the next one? It was 765.8%. Miss Atia, oh, she's not with us. Let me see. Oh, I don't see her. Okay, let me call someone else then. Miss Atia Knowles stepped out. Okay, Miss Heald, what you got for that last one?
7.658.
7.658. Okay, 7.658. Thank you. That was Miss Heald. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so we seem like we got that. We divide by 100 to change from a decimal from a percent into a decimal. Okay, so we have some fractions here now that we could change to a percent. The first fraction we have is 3/4. Everybody know that 3/4 is 75%, but what's the procedure for doing so? You'll see that the first thing they ask you to do is divide the numerator by the denominator. So you're going to change it into a decimal, and then you're going to move the point 2 places to the right, which is actually multiplying by 100. That's what the shortcut for doing that is. So 3/4 is equal to 0.75, and then you multiply by 100, you get 75%. I think we already did this one in last, we know that 0.1/5 is equal to 0.2. Multiply by 100, you get 20%. 1/20 gives us 0.05. Multiply by 100, you get 5%. Okay, so converting from fraction to decimal first requires you to change the fraction into a decimal, and then from the decimal, we multiply by 100 to get the equivalent in a percentage. All right, so let's look at these two here. 1/3. When we divide 1 by 3, what do we get?
0.33.
Okay, it continues on and on. So I just put that bar over there to show it continue. And then, so we want, now they want you to round your answer to the nearest 100%. So if you multiply that by 100, you're gonna get 100 times that gives you what? Anybody could answer.
33.33.
33.33% to nearest 100. Okay. 3 divided by 7 gives us what?
0.43.
That's all you get? Give me all of the
Yes.
3 divided by 7 gives you 0.
4, 2, 8, 8,
428.
57.
5.
Give me one more digit.
428571.
Okay, so that's in the fraction in decimal form. Now we want to round it off to the nearest 100 as a percent. So we're going to multiply by 100. So you're going to go 1, 2 places here. So that's going to be 42 point what?
86.
86% to nearest 100. Okay. All right. So from fraction to percentage requires you to change the fraction first to a decimal, and then you're going to convert the decimal to percentage by multiplying it by 100. If the question asks you to round off, then you round off to the required place that you're asked to round to.
How much working do you need to see? Because my calculator will round it off, but it will still get the same answer at the end. So how much
Well,
does that
something like this. The clue I would give you is if you see a question is only worth 1 point, the correct answer is good enough.
Okay.
The question is worth 2 or more points, then at least show 1 step of working. Okay, but 1 point questions, if you get it straight away from the calculator, go ahead, put your answer down. The only thing sometimes, if the question is worth 2 points or more and you don't show any work and you get your answer wrong, then you get no points. But if you did something right in your working, but your answer is wrong, you can get points for the correct working, but you would lose points for the answer. So once you see it's valued more than 1 point, it's always good to show some working. So just in case you did something that's worthy of credit in your working, then you could get points for the working, even though your answer may be wrong.
Okay.
Okay. All right, converting percents to fractions. So we're doing the reverse now. Now we already know that a percent means out of 100. So the book shows this method that they have where they drop the percent sign. So the 76% becomes just 76. And because it is out of 100, they multiply by 100. So in the case of 76%, it becomes 76 times 1 over 100, which is 76 over 100. And you reduce it to lowest terms, it becomes 19 over 25. Now look at this one that says 1/8%. So you drop the percent sign, you use 1/8 times 100, and the answer is 1/800, 1 over 800. 156%, you drop the percent sign, you multiply by 1 over 100, that becomes 156 over 100, which reduces to 156 over 100, which could be further reduced now to 114 over 25. So the key thing now to change from percent to a fraction is to rewrite the percent without the symbol, multiply it by 100, and you go from there. Simplify it if possible. Okay. We're doing the same thing here, but this time we have some mixed numbers. Or in this case, we have mixed with decimal. So basically it's the same procedure, but we have to deal with the mixed number first. So this was 12.5%. So that becomes 25/2 when you change it to an improper fraction. And you multiply it by 100. In this case, you get 25/200, which reduces to 1/8. They did the same thing. This time they changed, instead of using 12.5, they used 12.5, which is the same as 12.5. Change it to 25/2 times 1/100. Okay, same 1/8. This one is 22.5%. You know that 0.5 is equal to a half. And so 22/1/2, that becomes 45/2 times 100 gives you 45/200, which is 9/40. Okay. So once you have a mixed number or decimal, you write it as a improper fraction and multiply that improper fraction by 1/100 and simplify to get your answer from a percent into a fraction. And you notice they didn't put any percent sign here because we're not changing to percent, we're changing from percent to a fraction. Okay, so you started off with a percentage, but your result is going to be a fraction. Okay, I have 5 here for you to practice with. Give you a minute or two, and then I'm going to start calling on persons to tell me what they get. Mr. Marshall, let's look at number 11.
I need a little help with that, Mr. Allen.
Okay, so let's go back to the previous slide. So it says drop the percentage sign, multiply by 1/100, reduce the lowest terms. So if you drop the percentage sign, what you're going to get here?
17/100.
Okay, so the drop you get 17, and you're going to multiply it by 1/100. So it's equal to 17 times 1/100, which is equal to 17/100. I mean, you don't need to do all this working for this because you should be able to see right away
Yeah.
that it results in that, but the answer is 17/100. Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Messidor, number 2.
Oh, hold on.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm struggling with that one too.
So what's the first step again? It says you're going to drop the percent sign. So if you drop the percent sign, what you get?
82.25.
Well, we
It's a quarter, but I mean, yeah, 82.
on a quarter. Now, if you change and you're going to multiply it by 1/100. So that 82 and a quarter, to multiply, you need to change that into an improper fraction. So when you change 82 and a quarter in improper fraction, what do you need to do to change that to an improper fraction?
You 1 divided by 4 equals to 0.25. When you
Yeah,
add that
but
whole number.
okay, to change 82 and a quarter to improper fraction, let's say we have the number 2.5. You know, 2.5 is equal to 5/2. How do we get that 5/2? How do we get that 5/2? You're going to multiply these two
Times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5.
plus 1. 2 is 4 plus 1, 5. And then you put the 5/2. You're going to do the same principle with this one.
Oh.
4 times 82 plus 1. You're going to multiply 4 times 82 plus 1. So 4 times 82 is what?
So 329.
328 plus 1 is
28.
29.
Okay, so it's 328 plus 1 gives you
29.
329, and you put that over 4.
All right, I get it.
Okay, so that's going to equal then to 329 over 4 times 1/100. So when you simplify that, Mr. Nestor, right? What does that result in now? We want it as a fraction. So you're just multiplying the numerators and multiplying the denominators.
329 over 400.
329 over 400. Now, I hope as we go through these examples, y'all are making notes, because even though I share the slides with you, these are workings that we do here. They will not show up on the slide. Only what is printed will show up. So as we go along, if you get it right, no problem. But if you make a mistake, please make sure to write the corrections so you could know where you went wrong if you make a mistake. Okay, so that is it for that one. That one can't be reduced any further, because there's no number that could divide 329 and 400 without a remainder. So, Ms. Branick, the next one.
So that's 150%. So I dropped the percentage sign.
Mhm.
Then I did 150 times 100 over 1. I mean,
100
sorry,
over
1 over 1 over
Okay,
100, sorry.
Okay.
So that gave me 150 over 100. And
Mhm.
then I simplified it and got 15 over 10.
15 over 10. Mhm. Okay, 15 over 10. Let me write that over. Mhm. That could be simplified further.
Oh, that's where I stopped.
The two,
Go into both.
okay, 5 into 15 is 3. 5 into 10 is 2. So that's 3 over 2. And that could be changed to a mixed number.
1 and 1 over 2.
1.5. Okay. All right, so 150% is 1.5.
I get asked a question, please.
Yes.
Okay, would it make a difference? Okay, 150 over 100. When I reach that part, I convert it into a mixed number. right?
Mm-hmm.
So that gives me 150 over 100. But
Mhm.
instead of crossing out the 0, I just did 50 could go into itself 1 and 50 could go into 100 twice.
Uh-huh.
And it gives me the
Excellent.
1 and 1 over 2. Does it make a
Excellent.
difference which way you do it?
No, ma'am. Once it's logical, no problem. Many of these questions, there are other ways we could do them. Because what some people do, for example, instead of doing that, for example, this first one where we have 17%, instead of saying 17 times 1 over 100, you could just go straight ahead and just put 17 over 100. And that's it. You could have gone straight ahead with this one and say 150 over 100. Now, where it becomes a challenge is when you have something like number 12. Okay, so that's why it's useful to use this method so it doesn't get as complicated, because if you put 82 and a quarter over 100, many persons would have a challenge working that out. So that's why we use this method so we are consistent. But some of the questions, like 17%, 150%, you could just go straight ahead and eliminate the percent sign and put that number over 100 and simplify it. But when fractions are involved and decimals, it's not as straightforward. So that's why we just try to be consistent. Okay. All right, let me see now. Ms. Daniel Roll, number 14.
Okay, I didn't get that one as yet. Let me just.
We could do it together. Tell me what you get, what you should do. Following
Okay.
the same principle as the rest.
So it's already a fraction.
Mhm.
I divide the fraction, right?
Well,
that'd be-
we're changing it to from a percentage to a fraction. So this is a fractional percent, but we want it to just be a fraction.
Mhm. So we take off the percent, change it to 1 over 4. 1 over 4 times 1 over 100.
So your
And
answer is
1 over 400.
okay. That's it.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Okay. All right, Miss Hope. Last one.
Okay, 17.8 converted to a fraction is 17 4/5.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to make it an improper fraction, so you multiply 5 by 17, and you get 85. And 85 plus 4 is 89. So your fraction is 89 over 5 times 1 over 100. Because I can't simplify anything, my result is 89 over 500 as my fraction.
Okay, that's it. Yep. Okay, thank you. All right. So we changed the 17.8 to 17 4/5, and then that 17 4/5 is equal to 89 over 5, and that 89 over 5 we're going to multiply by 1 over 100, and we get the answer 89 over 500. Okay. All right. So now, in this other section of the chapter, we are actually going to be doing some calculations involving percentage. Now, in this book, they tend to use the terms portion, base, and rate. So when you calculate a percentage of something, that calculation they refer to as the portion. So if I say find 25% of 40, 25% of 40. So when I work that out, 25% of 40 is 10. So that 10 would be the portion. So let me just use that here, 25, all right, 25% of 40 equals 10. So the 10 that we get as our answer, they would refer to that as your portion. That's the portion, that's the part of the whole. The 40, which is the whole amount that you were going to divide, they refer to that as the base. And the 25%, which is the percentage you're going to find for, is referred to as the rate. Okay, so you need to be familiar with those terms as far as this text is concerned. Rate is your percentage, base is the whole number that you're going to split up, and then the portion is the answer to that percentage. Okay, so you will see the circle there that's showing you the relationship between portion, base, and rate. So portion is equal to base times rate. Okay, now you might have remembered when we were doing simple interest, we had something sort of similar to this, where we were able to, because we have this relationship between portion, base, and rate, we can find base if we want to, and we can find rate if we want to. So if I show you the table again, portion is equal to base times rate. Let's say we want to find base. How would we go about finding the base? Using the relationship you see there.
Portion divided by rate.
Okay, very good. So that would be portion divided by rate. Okay, and then of course rate then would be equal to
Portion divided by base.
okay. Okay, so just looking at the way it's set up, portion is equal to base times rate. If you want to find base, it would be portion over rate. And if you want to find rate, it would be portion over base. So once you visualize that relationship, you should be able to now manipulate the formula to find whatever it is you need to find. Now, the key is, though, we have to look at questions and decide, what am I trying to find? Am I trying to find the portion? Am I trying to find the base? Am I trying to find the rate? And so that's where sometimes it's a challenge. So the formula is one thing, but reading a question to decide what I want to find is another factor that we have to take into consideration. So I'm going to look at some questions here. All right. So we have 3 questions, and you're going to be solving for portion, base, or rate. But you have to read the question carefully now to decide what are we trying to find. So I'm going to call on some persons to read. 12. Atia Knowles, you back with us?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't see you for a bit. I was calling you, and I didn't hear you. So I'm going to call on you now.
That disconnected.
Okay. I want you to read the first one, please. Read that question and tell me.
Out of 9,000 college students surveyed, 540 responded that they do not eat breakfast. What % of the students do not eat breakfast?
Okay, so in your estimation, what are we trying to find here? The portion, the base, or the rate?
The rate, I
The rate. Very good. And what is it in that question that gives you an idea that you're trying to find rate?
Because it asks what percent of the students do not eat breakfast.
Right. Okay. So that is one of the keywords you could use to decide whether you want to find the rate. Once they ask you what percent, then that's a good clue that you're trying to find the rate. Now, the formula for rate again is just looking at the circle that we have here. How would we find rate? Rate is equal to?
P divided by B.
Okay, portion divided by base. So now, which of those figures there represents the portion and which represents the base?
540 is your
540. That's the
540 is the,
portion.
okay, so that's the portion of them that had breakfast. And the full amount is
9,000.
9,000. Okay, so now we simply divide 540 divided by 9,000 gives us what?
0.06.
0.06. Okay, and of course, because we are trying to change it to a percentage, they ask you what percent, then what we're going to do with this 0.06.
You're gonna move the decimal place.
Are we multiplying by 100 or dividing by 100? We're multiplying by
Multiply.
100. So we're going to move the point 2 places to the right. So that
The right.
becomes
0 point, I mean,
6%.
0.06.
6%.
percent. All right. So 6% of the students do not eat breakfast. Okay. Thank you. All right. Mr. Massador.
Sure.
Read number 2 first, please. The second one.
Jeffro went to Best Buy and bought a Canon digital camera. The purchase price was $400. Jeff made a down payment of 40%. How much was Jeff's down payment?
Okay, from your estimation, what are we trying to find there? The portion, the base, or the rate?
We're trying to find the base, no, the portion I mean, sorry. Because
Portion, okay. So why you think it's the portion?
Because the purchase price was $400, so we're subtracting 40 from the 400 to get the portion.
Okay, so we're trying to find a portion of that full amount, right? So you're trying to find the down payment. So the down payment is only a portion of the full price. So that's a clue right there. You're not trying to find what the full price was because they give you the full price. They give you the rate. So you want to find what that portion of the full price is. So the formula to find portion, Mr. Massador, is what again? Portion is equal to?
Portion divided by rate.
Look at the circle. Portion is equal to what? To the circle right here?
The base times the rate. A portion.
Okay, equals base times rate. Portion is equal to the base times rate. So in this case, then what we're going to multiply?
The 400 times the 40%.
400 times 40%. And to do this on your calculator, you'd say 400 times, when you change that 40% to a decimal, what do you get?
0.040.
Okay, 0.40%. Look at that again. You're going to move the point 2 places to the left to change that to a decimal.
0.04.
If you move the point, look at this. 40%, the point is right here. You're going to move 1 2. So the point is going to go right in front of the 4.
0.40.
Okay, 0.4. If you want to put 40 or 0.4. All right. So when you multiply now, your answer will be
$160.
$160. So the down payment is $160. Thank you, sir. Okay, Ms. Thompson,
Yes, sir.
read the last one and tell me what you think we asked for there.
Massachusetts has a 5% sales tax. Timothy bought a Toro lawnmower and paid $20 sales tax. What was the cost of the lawnmower before the tax? They are asking, we have the rate. They want to know the base.
Okay, why you think so?
Because they gave us the rate. They gave us the portion he paid for his sales tax.
Right.
So they want to know what was the cost. He want to know, yeah, what was the cost of the lawnmower before the tax?
Okay, so they want to know the full price of the lawnmower. They only tell you what 5% was. 5% was the sales tax, which is $20, but we don't know what the full price was. Anytime you're trying to find the full amount, that's when you're trying to find base. Okay, so the formula for finding base is equal to
Portion divided by rate.
okay. So the portion in this case is
The portion is $20.
20, okay, and the rate is
5%.
5%. So it's going to be 20. When you change that 5% into a decimal, what do you get?
0.5, 0.05.
0.05. So when you divide 20 by 0.05,
40.
40?
20 divided by 0.05. 400, my bad.
Okay, so $400. All right, so the lawnmower costs $400 before sales tax. All right, so the key thing now, like I said, is to read the question carefully and see what is being asked for you to find. And then once we determine whether it's the portion based on rate, we use the appropriate formula, substitute the values in, and do your calculations. All right, so I'm going to ask you to look at these 6 questions here. These 6 questions, they actually tell you what to find. Number 1 and 2 says find the portion. Number 3 and 4 says find the rate. And number 5 and 6 says find the base. Okay, so I'm going to ask you to do those, and then I'm going to call on persons to tell me what they got. You're going to just use the appropriate formula to do your calculations. I'll give you a couple minutes to do that. There's a thing in the freezer. I just put it. Miss Denise, Denise Thompson. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Is your email the one that starts with RING?
So that's my internet at home was acting up. So I have my laptop up as well
Yeah.
as my phone. So that is me.
Yeah, but I was
can
asking
give
if your email address is it the one that starts with RING?
That's me.
Oh, that's you. Okay.
But-
Okay.
Yes, that is me. You can use
Okay.
the one. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just checking. Okay, so I think you should be finished with that now. So let me call on some persons. Okay, Branique. The first one, what you did?
Okay, I did portion equals 3 times base,
Mhm.
and then I did 1,200 times 0.42, and that gave me 504.
Okay. I don't know if that's right, but that's the working is correct. I don't know if everybody else agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. All right, that was Branique. Right, let me see who else I didn't call. Mr. Marshall, number 2.
What I did was I did 8,000 times
Mhm.
7.
Times what?
1 sec. It was 0.7.
0.7. Now remember, you have to move 2 places now. 7%. 7% to change that to a decimal. The point was right after the 7, so you're gonna go 1.
0.07.
Right. So that's 0.07.
And I would
So
have gotten 560.
560. Okay. $560. All right. Yes. Okay. Miss Hield, Unique. Number 3.
I did rate equals portion divided by base. So I did 510 divided by 6,000. It gave me 0.085, and then when I converted it, I got
0.0 what?
0.085.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I converted it, I got 8.5%.
8.5%. Okay. Thank you. Okay, 8.5. Okay, question number 4. Okay, Miss Dania Roll. Miss Roll, are you there? Oh, Miss Roll stepped out. Oh, she's here. Miss Dania Roll, number 4. Okay, so Miss Dania Roll. Not with us. Okay, Miss Hope, what you got for number 4?
400 divided by 900 is 44.44%.
Okay, they want you to round to the nearest tenth. So you get what? 40.
4.44.
Okay. All right, to the nearest tenth.
Right.
All right. Question 5. Okay, that was Miss Hope. Okay. Miss Atia Knowles,
Hi.
number 5.
Portion equal base time rate.
Mm-hmm.
30 times.
Well, no,
60.
this says it tells you to solve for base for number 5.
Oh, gee, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I too long. So portion divided by rate then.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So that would be
I do it wrong. So
portion.
that would be 30 divided by 0.6.
Mm-hmm.
And that would give you 50.
Okay, 50 is that?
Yeah.
Okay, look at 50. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Goes up to you. Okay, Branique. Last one. Branique, are you there?
You saying Veronique or Bernique?
Oh, B-R-A-N-I-Q-U-E. Branique.
Again? Okay.
Branique. Oh, again? You
I
know,
did
Branique,
I
I
did
know,
the
but I because I missed you in the previous classes, I try to make
okay.
up. I giving you
Okay.
participation points.
Okay.
Okay.
I wasn't quite ready
You
for
wasn't quite
that.
ready?
No.
Okay, but we could do it together because you want the base. What's the formula for base again?
Okay, so it's portion divided by rate.
Okay, so the portion in this case is for number
Sorry,
6. What's
would
the
you
portion?
ask?
What is the portion for number 6?
1200.
Number 6. That's number 4.
400 is
Why you say 400? We're looking at number 6.
No, I say 12.
Oh, 1200. Okay. Okay. Sorry. And then your rate is
3.5.
3.5%. When you need to change that 3.5 into a decimal. So when you change 3.5 to a decimal, what do you get?
Um, 0.035.
Okay, that's 0.035. So you do that division. Now they say round to the nearest tenth as needed. So if you do that division,
Oh. Um, hold on. I don't think my answer is right.
why? What you did? What you got?
I divided 1200 by 0.035.
Mm-hmm. And what you got?
I'm
Mhm.
getting this answer is bogus. Like I get a large number.
Give me an answer. Give me an answer. Hmm?
I get it like 34,000.
Okay, 34,000.
285.
285.
Yeah,
You,
it's like, oh,
yeah, but it says to the nearest tenth. So you need to give me one number after the point.
oh, so 7.
0.7. Okay. So why you think it's bogus?
I don't know, just with it look off.
Because what they say to you, 1,200 is 3.5% of what? So if you want to find out if your answer is right,
Oh, okay.
you
I follow.
need to try and see if you could find out what is 3.5% of 34,000. See if you get 1,200. So
Okay.
3.5%. Let's see, 3.5%. 3.5% of the answer you got was 34285.7. So if you say 0.035 times the 34285.7, multiply that and tell me what you get. So this 0.035 is 3.5%, and this is the answer you got, 34285.7. Multiply that and see what you get.
I got 1,199. Well, yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Because
Yeah,
we
so
rounded. Yeah.
correct. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now, the next 3 is requiring you to decide what you're going to use. Whether you're trying to find the base, whether you're trying to find the portion, whether you're trying to find the rate. But these 3 questions are a little bit tricky because they are not straightforward like the other 3 that we did earlier. These 3 that we did were straightforward. They say 540 students say they do not eat breakfast. And then the question asks you, what percent do not eat breakfast? So they tell you how many do not eat, and they ask you what percent do not eat. In this one, it says you went to buy a camera, the purchase price was 400. You made a down payment of 40%. What was the down payment? Straightforward. This one says you have a sales tax of 5%, and that sales tax is equal to $20. what is the total cost? Now with these three, look at the first one, number 7. It says 10 out of 25 students in Professor Ford's class received an A grade. What percent of the class did not receive an A grade? So they don't want to know how many got an A grade. They want to find out how many did not get an A grade. So how are we going to work that before we can even think of the, okay, the first thing, what are we trying to find here? Portion, base, or rate?
Trying to find a rate.
We're trying to find the rate? Okay. We're trying to find the rate of what? How many of them got A or how many did not get A?
How many did not get A?
Okay. But they tell you that 10 got A.
So that means 15 didn't.
Okay, well, you're good. Okay, number 8. Abby Biernat has not yet received 70% of her lobster order. Abby received 90 lobsters to date. What was her original order? What are we trying to find there? Portion, base, or rate?
The base?
The base. You want to know what the original order is. But they said she got 70% of the order. Okay, so sorry, she has yet to receive 70%. She has yet to receive, but then here they're saying she received 90 lobsters.
She only received 30%.
Okay, very good. All right, look at number 9. A local Dunkin' Donuts company.
Hold on, you said, what was her original order?
Yeah.
Abby has yet to receive 70% of her lobster order. She's
Right.
received 90 lobsters to date. What was her original order? We know she didn't get 30%, but what was her original order?
Well, you're gonna work that. You're gonna work that out. But what I'm saying to you is that 70% is representing the amount that she did not receive, and the 90 is representing the amount she received. So that 90 would be what percentage?
Right.
30.
30%.
So we're working out together. Okay.
So you wouldn't be using the 70% in your calculation because that 70% is telling you how much she's yet to receive. So it's 30% that she has received. So that's what you're going to be using in your calculation, the 30%.
Okay.
All right, look at number 9 now. It says a local Dunkin' Donuts company had $400,000 in donut sales in 2013. In 2014, sales were up 35%. What are Dunkin' Donuts sales for 2014? What are you trying to find here? Portion, base, or rate?
Portion, eh?
You're looking for portion, but it is not just portion because they want you.
Portion.
They want to find out what is the sales for 2014, and it says the sales went up 35%. So when you find that portion, you're going to do something with it to find out what the sales was for 2014. 2013, it was 400,000. 2014, it went up 35%. So you're going to find
Multiply.
You're going to find the portion of 400,000, which is 35% of it, but that's not going to give you the answer for 2014. You have to do something else with that answer.
You have to add, right?
Right. You have to add that answer to the answer to the sales for 2013 to get the sales for 2014. So you're going to find the portion, yes, but when you find that portion, because you want to find the sales for 2014, and the sales for 2014 increased by 35%, you're going to add your answer to the 400,000 to find the sales for 2014. Okay, give you a few minutes to work on those three and tell me what you got, what you get for them. So, like I said, they involve a little bit more than what we looked at earlier. So let's work on those three. Okay, we should be done. All right, so let me see. Branique, I won't bother you again. Let me see who else I could use now. Let me see. Mr. Marshall. Tell me what you did for the first one. Mr. Marshall, you still there?
Sorry, I was saying I divided 15 by 25.
Okay, so you're looking for, what are we looking for here again? We're looking for rate, portion, what are we looking for?
Rate.
Rate, okay, so the rate would be equal to, in this case, you said 15 divided by 25. And what did you use 15 and not 10?
Because we already established that 10 were the ones that got A's.
Okay, so and we're looking for the ones that did not receive A. Okay.
Yes.
So when you divide 15 by 25, you got
0.6.
0.6. And when you change that to a decimal, to a percentage,
I got 60%.
60%. Thank you very much, sir. All right, very good. Atia? No?
Yes.
Okay, number 8.
I use base equal portion over rate,
Okay, so that's equal to
90 over 70%, which is 0.7.
okay, hold on a minute now. Remember now, when we were discussing that one, we said that she is yet to receive 70%. So that 70% is not representing how much she that 90, sorry, is not representing how much she is yet to receive. She's yet to receive 70%. So what percentage did she receive?
So that would be 30 there.
Right, because they said Abby received 90 lobsters. The 70% is how much she did not receive. So if you're going to use the 90, which represents how much she received, you can't use a 70 with it because that 70 is saying she's yet to receive 70%. So to do this calculation, then you would have to use the 90 with 30% because she has only received 30% so far. She has 70% yet to receive.
Okay,
all right?
so 90,
Mhm.
90 divided by 0.3 then,
Mhm.
and that would give you 300.
Okay, 300. Okay, thank you. All right, that was up to you. Okay, Denise. The number 9. Ms. Thompson.
Sorry, just trying to unmute. For number 9, we are finding the base.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Base. What are Dunkin' Donuts sales? They told you that they told you the base was 400,000 in 2013, and it says in 2014 sales were up 35%.
So
It
we're
was-
looking, are we looking for new base for 2014?
We're looking for, right. So we're looking for a new base for 2014, yes. So we need to find out now, first of all, how much did the sales go up by?
In 20, okay. So what we would do would 400,000 divided by,
Divided?
sorry, times 0.035%.
Okay, you didn't convert that 35% correctly.
I took it the wrong
35
way.
divided by, the 35 divided by 100, you're moving 2 places to the left.
Okay.
2 places to the left would give you what?
To the left?
Yeah,
Which
the
would be-
35%, it was 35%. The point is right after the 5, so you're going to move 2 places to the left.
0.03.
So we're 0.12. You see where I just moved the point? It was at the 5, and you get
Oh,
1,
so it'd be
2.
0.35%. Or point or
No, not-
35.
Yeah, okay, 0.35. So the portion is 400,000 times 0.35, which gives you what?
400,000 divided by 0.35. It's 1
Multiply.
million.
Multiply. I hear you say divide. You are multiplying.
140,000.
140,000. Okay. So this question says to you then that increase by 35%, which is 140,000. So what was the sales in 2014? How would you find that?
You add the 400,000 and 140,000.
Okay,
Which
so
is
sales in
45.
2014 would be equal to 400,000 plus the 140,000. 140,000, which gives us
540,000.
540,000. Okay, anybody did it a different way? No? Okay, all right. There are other ways to do it, but if you all did it this way, then we could live with that.
Can
That's it.
you explain a different way to do number 8?
Number 8,
Mhm.
like you had a different way you did it?
Okay, so you automatically would say she didn't receive 30% of her order, so she received 90 lobsters, so we divide the 90 by the 30.
The 30%, yeah.
Right, that was, okay, that's automatic. There is no other way to work that out.
There might be others, but if you could think of one, let me know and let's discuss it. Okay.
I was getting confused with that one. Okay, I'll look at it.
So the thing is, with questions like these, you just have to make sure to read it carefully, because sometimes what the information they give you in the final question, what they ask you to find, it might not be the same information they give you. You might have to do some deduction to figure out, like in the case of number 8, even though they told you that she is yet to receive 70%. So if she's yet to receive 70%, that means she only got 30%. And since this thing says she received 90, you can't use that 90 with the 70 because the 70 represents what she did not receive. Now, if they had said she is yet to receive 90, then you could have used the 90 with the 70 because both would be representing what she's yet to receive. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So the last portion of this now is calculating percentage in decreases and increase. And so in one, I think when we were doing one, this chapter and the previous chapter, they made reference, they seem to like the M&Ms to do. So they have a little ad here where they say the M&Ms, you got 15% extra in this packaging. All right. So they give you the question to say Sheila Leary went to her local supermarket and bought a bag of M&Ms. The bag gave its weight as 18.4 ounces, which is 15% more than a regular 1 pound bag of M&Ms. Sheila, who is a careful shopper, wanted to check to see if she was actually getting a 15% increase. So how do we find out percentage increase or decrease? First step, it says, is that you're going to find the difference between the two amounts. Okay, so if we're trying to find the difference between the two amounts here, what numbers are we going to be subtracting? What is the weight of the bag of M&Ms in this problem?
The weight?
18.4 ounces. So it's 18.4. And what was the original weight?
1 pound.
So how many ounces is 1 pound?
16.
16. Okay. Minus 16. So when you minus 16 from 18.4, you get
2.4.
2.4. So the difference is 2.4. So it says find the difference between the two amounts. That's the first step. The second step says divide step 1 by the original amount. So step 1 answer is 2.4. What was the original weight of the M&Ms?
Being the 1 pound? 1 pound?
Yes, which is how many ounces?
16 ounces.
16 ounces. All right, so you have to make sure the units are the same. We can't do 1 pound on ounces. So since we calculated 2.4 ounces as a difference, so to find the rate of increase, you're going to say now 2.4 divided by the original amount, which is 16. When you divide that, what do you get? 2.4 divided by 16 is what?
0.15.
0.15, 0.15. Multiplied by 100 gives you
15%.
15%. So the add was correct. It is 15%. Okay. So to find the percent increase or decrease, you do your subtraction to find what the amount was that increase or decrease was. Then you put that answer over whatever the original amount was and do your division, convert to a percent. Okay. So let's look at these two questions here. The first one says, the price of an Apple computer dropped from $1,800 to $1,000. What was the percent decrease? Round answer to the nearest 100%. What was the original price?
1,800.
Okay. And so it dropped. So what was the amount of the drop?
$800.
800.
Okay, so 1,800 minus 1,000 equals 800. So the decrease was by $800. And so if you want to find the percent decrease now, percent decrease, that would be equal to now the 800 over the original amount, which is
1,800.
1,800. And so that gives you, as in decimal form,
0.44.
0. It goes on and on.
Yeah, it goes on, yes.
So we go da. So as a decimal is a percentage now, it says to the nearest 100%. So that means they want two numbers after the decimal point. So that's going to be, when you multiply by 100, you get
44.44%.
0.44%. Right. So the decrease, it went down by 44.44%. Okay, I want you to work number 11. And then I'll call on someone to tell me what they did. Okay, Mr. Massador.
Yeah.
Okay, number 11. What we're gonna do?
We are going to subtract the
Okay.
cost. We're going to subtract the $75 from the $14.
Okay, so 75 minus 14 gives you
61.
61. Okay. And then now we want to work out the percentage. What's this? This is an increase. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so you're gonna you're gonna turn that into a decimal. So
okay, but what you gonna divide? What number over what number?
61.
Mm-hmm.
61
Over
over 100.
100.
No, over 75.
Over 75. That's the original price.
Yeah, that's the original 14. Oh Lord.
14. Yeah. Okay. So the increase was 61 and the original price was 14.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And then now you're going to divide 61 divided by 14 gives you
4.357.
4.357. Anything else after the 7?
1.
Okay. So now that's not a percentage yet. We're gonna have to change that to a percentage. So when you change that to a percentage, what you're gonna get?
1 times by 100. Yeah.
Mhm.
If I move the decimal places 2 points back, so that'll be that's 435.71%.
Mhm. 0.71%. Okay. All right. Let me just double check that rounding off. Let me see. Where's the okay. So that's 6.1 divided by 1.4. Okay, 4.3751. The 4 comes after the 1. Yeah. Okay. 135.71%. That's a major increase, but I guess that was a long period of time in between 1982 and 2013. Okay, thank you very much. All right, very good. Okay, so let's see now. For your homework, you have pages 172 to 170, sorry, 171 to 172. Questions 1 to 19. So those people, I'm gonna just, okay, so I see Atia and Branique. You say you don't have the book.
No, sir.
Okay, so everybody else have the book then?
I don't have the book.
No, Bernice doesn't have the book either.
Yeah, I have Atia and Branique.
Sandy doesn't have the book as well.
Sandy? Okay, Sandy. Okay. So Vernique Hill, you have the book?
Yes.
Okay, and then let me go down. Daniel Rowe? Daniel
Yes.
Rowe? You do? Okay. Waltine?
Yes.
Okay. Jules Macedon?
I got the book.
You got it. Oh, where you got the book, Jules?
The office.
Oh, you got, okay. Denise Thompson?
I've got the book, sir.
Okay. All right. Okay, so the ones who don't have it, I'll send it today, but I'm hoping by next Saturday you get a copy. I understand they're trying to get some in, so hopefully they'll have it by next Saturday. We won't have any midweek class this week, so our next class will be next week Saturday, and then the following week, after next week Saturday, we have a midweek class, either Wednesday or Thursday, depending on which day is good for you. Now, I sent out an email I sent out an email with the test. I want you to check your email to see if you got it.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay.
I got it.
Okay. So now the instructions on that is, let me see where it is sent. Okay. All right, so the test is attached. I put it in PDF form, so you should be able to open it very easily. You're gonna get line paper, and you're gonna put your answers on the line paper. Make sure to number the questions and write your name on each sheet of paper that you use. So if you use 5 sheets of paper, make sure you put your name on each sheet and make sure you number the questions. Once you're finished, you're going to scan or take a picture of each page and send it to me by email. And you may send your answers up to 1 o'clock today. After 1 o'clock, I'll mark that you didn't do the test. So you have between now and 1. I give it extra time. Normally it should only take you about 45 minutes, but because of the fact that you have to do all this, maybe downloading and then uploading the picture to me, I give you some extra time to deal with all of that. And make sure you do it on your own, okay? Because if you don't do it on your own, it's only you're going to suffer in the end, because the final exam is 60%. So if you don't understand what you're doing on this, then, you know, when it comes to the final exam, you will have a problem, okay? So I put the trust and faith in you that you will do your best. I mean, if you want to look back on your notes, you could feel free to do so, but just make sure you understand what you're doing and you're not just getting someone to assist you to do the question, okay? So I think that is it for today. So you are free to go ahead and start doing it. Now, if you have something where you could print the tests, you could print it and answer it on the printed copy and then scan it back to me. But if you don't have a printer, just answer the questions on line paper and then either take a picture of it or scan it to me once you're through. Like I said, you have till 1 o'clock to do all of that. Any questions? Are we all clear?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yeah. I didn't hear anything. Yes, okay. All right. So until later when I hear from you with the test or next week, Saturday, I just trust and pray that we all keep safe and we will see each other next week, God's willing. Okay?
Mr. Allen, one question
Yes,
just to be clear. I know myself and Atia doesn't have the book, so you'll be sending all the previous homeworks to us, the question.
okay. Who is this again?
This is Bernique.
Branique. Okay. So you want the lessons 1 and 2.
Right, I mean, and they're graded, right?
Lesson 1 and 2. Now listen, lessons 1 and 2. Who and you said?
I think I can speak for myself. I'm not sure if Atia did it.
Yeah, I did lesson 1 already. I just need lesson 2. I mean, I have lesson 2, but the homework questions, that is. The
Right,
actual
that's what I'm
questions.
asking for, the homework
Oh, I
question.
see. Okay, so you
Yeah,
want
I received the lesson and all of that, but it's just the questions for lesson 2 homework.
okay, all right. Okay, I'll try and send that now while you're doing the test. Okay.
Can you
So
send it to me as well?
who is this?
Sandy.
Sandy. Oh yeah, yeah, okay. I need to do that for you. Okay. So I might end up sending something more than once. I'll just send everything. And then if you got it already, then you could just ignore it. Okay. So I'll do that after we close. It's something I was trying to remember. Let me see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think that's it then. All right. Now, I was going to say with the homework, I do not mark homework. What I do, the answer is in the PowerPoint. So what you will do is you check your answers to make sure you get the answer that's there. And if you're not sure about a question or how the answer was arrived at, then you will contact me and I could give you some assistance with it. But I do not mark it. But what I want you to do is send me a picture of the homework that you did it, and I will credit you for doing it. Each time you do it, I give you a point. In fact, what I'm going to do this week, I'm trying to develop a spreadsheet, and I'm going to share the spreadsheet with you so you could see your grade and your attendance as we progress, okay? So that you could know whether if you see me put you as absent and you were present, or if you see me put a grade that you didn't do the work and you did it, then we could always discuss, because sometimes persons might send by WhatsApp. Sometimes I get so much WhatsApp, I don't see it right away. So if you message me, you saw the grade sheet and you didn't see your credit for the homework, then you could just let me know when you sent it and I could go back and check and give you the credit for it. Okay, so I'll try and do that sometime this week so you could see what your situation is as far as attendance and credit for homework and tests and so on as we progress. All right, so if there are no more questions, then I guess we could end the lesson now, and you just go ahead and do your test and send it to me once you're done. Now, the persons who are absent, just do your best, and there could be opportunities for makeup if you are absent and you think you could benefit from the makeup, because I'm going to send you the PowerPoint. So if you look over it, you try the homework and you think you get a better understanding, then we could deal with that at a later time. Just do as much as you can now, and then based on how you perform, then we could make some decisions as to how we move from there. Okay. So that's it for me from you today. Let me stop share. Okay, so that's it. Bye-bye.
Good day.
Okay then.